Okay, this video is designed to familiarise yourself with the mechanics of Portara and to optimise your learning curve a little bit better and to demonstrate its use. Okay, so here you should have indexed your data and ran your primary update to get onto this screen. Okay, so just going forward, let's look at contract information, and in here this is simply a dictionary which you can set the tick size, big point value and a few other settings in there if you need to do so. You'll probably find that you won't need to, but the option to do so is there. Okay, now the essence of Portara is to roll the actual data and produce continuous back adjusted streams, and then to compress that data into data which is meaningful to you. So let's just see how you do that. Click on Role Manager and we'll drag that in. Okay, now the top grid we can choose on any symbol. Choose BP. Yours might look slightly different, depends on what symbols you subscribe to, but basically the first thing you do is set a symbol, in this case BP Pit or BP Globex or BP All Sessions, and then you set a role series, so Legacy or Custom. If we click on Custom, we can double click in the role series, which I've just done, and we can basically set whatever our delivery months we want to in there and then just save them. Obviously with BP, HMUZ is pretty standard, but you can jump over contracts like with crude oil and what have you, so you know it makes life easy for you there. Now the main point of the role manager is to set a template, and you can do that here. There's some templates already created. If you want to create your own or look at some, you can go in and edit those or create them. Create and edit template, and let me pull that in, and then in here you simply select what role method you want, calendar role or a static date there, or incrementally, or you can choose an expiry role, number of days back and forward, which is the primary setting. It basically guarantees that the contracts will overlap and knit together, so that's a useful setting. Numeric role, there's a window of opportunity to allow these settings to take place, so you can use tick counts and trade volume and smooth it with averages and all sorts of different things in there. Just watch that, because if your volume is low in prior years, then you might want to choose a different alternative setting. It just depends on what you want to do, really. Okay, up here we've got stairs, so if you trade in the volume further out than the nearest contract, you can choose that. Delivery month out, depends on what you need there. Back adjust or zero adjust, so it's all there. And then when you're ready, you simply just type a name, ABC123 or whatever it is you're going to call it, and then save. And then once you've done that, this will then populate with that ABC123, and you'd pick it up there and set it, and that's it. Okay, now Portara, let me just pull down that middle grid. Just Portara, there's two databases. There's the daily CQG and the intraday, so when you run this, it'll run both. Basically, even the intraday, it will consider the settle prices on the daily in which to roll its intraday, so everything lines up, which is important. Okay, and we're going to do that in a second, but let's just take a look at the middle grid, and this is basically a way to have a look at the actual data and what's available. Obviously you've got the sectors here which you can choose, but it's on daily, and we can click on 1 minute. It's the same thing. Let's choose backs, and we'll just go randomly to any contract, 1997 March, and if we right click and display the actual data, I'll drag that in, and there it all is for you. Okay, and we can do the same, and we can chart that actual. Okay, let's do that, and there's an actual chart for that particular contract, okay, with all the paraphernalia you'd expect from a charting package. Alright, so everything's doable in there, but mostly you'll go up here and you'll have a look and set whatever you need to do on this grid, and you can set more than one, but it just depends. We'll just keep it for one for this particular run. There is a start and end date, which it will respect your settings there, or you can make it more finesse by setting up individual start and end dates there as well. Alright, so that's the main features have been dealt with there. So let's run it. So we'll roll the contracts. Okay, and now we'll have a look into the log. So let's stretch that up so we can see, and in there you can right click and save and do all sorts of stuff in there, but the main thing is the fact that you have got access, Glassbox access to how that particular file was created, which is, you know, that's a very cool thing to have. So you can see where it joined together and how many ticks was chosen for that to happen, and the dates and the expiration date was set in this particular case. Click on the status log, and this gives you the whole of the template that you've just selected. There's the expiration date template there, gives you a summary of dates, so everything's doable. Okay, next we want to look at the compression managers. There's two of those. There's a daily compression manager for standard daily CQG data, and an intraday compression manager for the intraday, and we're going to take a look in that. Let me just drag that in. Okay, now let's take a little tour around that. You can see straight away there's the contract that we rolled using the role manager, and we click on that to get ready to compress that. And let's just take a little look around. So we've got here a start and end date that we can set there as well. Compression mode, a short first bar or a long first bar, depends on what way round you want things. If it's not, you know, if you've got hourly bars and you start time as 07:20, there's a choice to go to 08:20, 09:20, etc., or to go from 07:20 to, let's say, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. That's what that's for. Okay, you can choose a start of bar or end of bar timestamp model, depends on what backtesting platform you use. You can choose exchange or local time, or CQG central time. If you're choosing local time, you'll notice mine's on set to GMT for obvious reasons. You can go in there and set your own time zone to do just that. Okay, you can set up custom symbol names to map if you want. I've just clicked on that. Now drag that in. You can see you can just set up anything. So BP, if we were to type in BP, I don't know, whatever it was, 1234 for instance, that file would then be called that, and of course then you can map to any backtesting or trading platform you need your data to work with. Alright, let me just take you a couple of steps further. You can choose to any format for date, any format for time, open, high, low, close. The settle and the volume and the open interest come off the daily database. These are indicative only, alright, so I'm stressing that, indicative only. To get everything to line up, make sure you choose the close rather than the settle. Alright, and I'll show you that later. Okay, contract, you can choose to print the contract so it's in the file if you want. You can delimiter anything you need to delimiter to. Now this is an interesting area. You can choose here between intraday and daily, and if you notice, if I click on daily, you'll notice that that's gone grey because we don't need it. This pathway's changed to daily, and this is day. If you want this to be sticky, you might say want TXT for everything. You just put a check mark in there and set that to TXT or whatever it is you need. You can make the pathway sticky as well, but it's better to keep that off. And then you'll notice it's taken the time off there, and you can put that back, so it's now got the time back in. And you change the value. You can change from anything from 1 minute to whatever value you want. Let's say if we create, say, 10-minute bars, that'll do. That's good to go. You can include Saturday or Sunday bars in there, so it's very flexible. Now, the main reason to have Portara is what you're going to see next, and this is in the session times and the markers. And once you see this, you'll think, oh yeah, this is good stuff. and this is what it's all about. So if we just focus in on BP, and we can see there that at the minute it's set to 10 to 1300. You can have these set to whatever you want, but if we just set it to say, I don't know, let's say 9 o'clock, there we go, 0900 to, we'll go out to 1400, which is the old session end time, I do believe, for the pound. That'll do. And then we go and save that file, and basically now we've got that saved. So when we run this, it's going to create 10-minute bars that start at 9 o'clock from the BPA all session, and it's going to read that file, this file here. It's going to read the file we created with the role manager and create 10-minute bars based on that. So let's do that. Let's just click create streams, and we'll go with that. And now that's completed. To change to daily, we just simply click there and run it again. Okay, so it only concludes now to go and look at that data and to go and check it and see if everything's been put together according to our plan. Okay, so before we look at the all-important file structure, there's a couple more features here. If we look at default settings, if you make a hash of things and you want to start again for any reason, you just go delete all customized data, and that will remove everything that you've created, but it will leave all your CQG database data intact, and we'll look at that again in a minute. Alright, now notice that there's an intraday database and a daily database. I've got the daily set up here. It doesn't matter what extractions you've created or in what format you've created, you can still chart stuff up here. So obviously we didn't create any from the CQG daily database, so if we focus on this side, on the intraday, we'll see there that there is 10 minutes and daily that we created. So if we pick on 10 minutes first and we click on BP and chart that, you'll see that it charts up into a nice package that we can have a look at that data and make sure it's according to what we want. And there's the intraday, and we click back onto chart setup and we can choose daily, and notice it's daily off the intraday database. That's important. Okay, and we'll chart that up, and there's BP daily. Alright, so you can see the colours there separate where the contracts have moved from one to the other, and you've got all sorts of charting tools there to help you. What is a good feature is this compression template and the role template, and these are like ghosts of what you did prior. So we can click on compression template. Let me just drag that in, and you can see there that's how this particular file was made. I've just thought of something as well, which I'll show you in a minute, the column print order. That's going to be good to show you as well. But you notice there's 9 o'clock to 1400, and there's all the settings we use, and it's the same with the role template. We click on role template and drag that in. That was the one that we actually utilized in this specific case. And there's all sorts of scrolling, and there's actually nothing there to scroll. Let me get at the 10 minute. You can choose how many bars are on screen, or you can scroll through all the data and zoom in, and it's all happening there. Okay, so let me just show you what I wanted to show you with the compression manager, and this is in the daily and the intraday compression managers, and it's the ability to, if you go to tools and advanced column formatter, and you'll see in that you can get hold of these columns and drag and drop them to wherever you want, and you can also append columns to the end. So if you want to see an unadjusted close or a spread or the cumulative spread, you'll see they're now going to be in those positions when they print. You just click save and that's it. Alright, so that was worth showing you. Alright, let me close that, and let's now take a look at the file structure. Okay, let me drag that in. So this is the main file structure, and there's the actual contracts that hold the actual data. There's no need for you to go in there. the download files in there is each day it will download some encrypted files. There's no need to go in there either. The expiration dates are all done automatically. There's no need to go in there, or the logs unless directed by Portara for some reason. The main area for you as a user is the continuous contracts area, and if we go, and that's what gets deleted if you do this default settings like I showed you before. It'll delete the continuous data and allow you to start again. Alright, or you can right click and delete it as you see fit. Alright, so let's go and have a look in there. Continuous data. There's one more, this extraction folder as well. There's no need for you to go in there. That's just holding data which allows the chart to populate without any regard to format, so it holds all that data in there. So what's important to you is the daily database, which is, there's nothing in there of relevance at the minute because we didn't compress any, and we'll look in the intraday database. And what we notice straight away is this 1 minute read only, and that contains a, let me just go in there, we won't open it, but this is the 1 minute continuous back adjusted stream that we created with the role manager. Again, it's read only, there's no need to open them, and these are role info and index info that Portara uses to plot with. And the important thing to know is that when you use the compression manager, it reads the file in here and it creates these output files here, and in this case it was the 10 minute and the daily data. So if we go into the 10 minute data, there's our BP we created, and I'm going to open that up, which is there, and throw that to the side, and we'll go in and do the same with the daily data. There's the BP daily we created, and we'll put that there, and we'll have a little look at that, and just to show you how that all fits together, and that will then conclude where we're up to, and it's, you know, it's over to you at that point. So if we scroll down and we'll look at, say, I don't know, the 20th of May is as good as any, and we do the same on the 10 minute, and we go to the 20th of May and we pick that up, just bear with me, there it all is, and then we can see that we started it, we've got an 0910, so we had an end of bar paradigm. The start of that was 1.6837, which agrees with the open in the file, and the end time was 1400 with the close at 1.6836, which again agrees with what's going on in the daily file. So there you go, it's all happy days there. So thank you very much, and hopefully this is going to help you to take your first steps within Portara. Okay, thank you.